Hi everybody, I'm Harmony from Harmony Stitches. This is my channel where we talk about my crafting journey. My journey usually revolves around cross stitch, but there's usually some knitting thrown in here and there. I also crochet, but I don't do that as often as I used to. It's been a while since I've been able to come and visit with you. Last week life just got in the way yet again. Today it's after 5 p.m. and I didn't even think I was going to be able to do this video today, but I was running out of time to be able to come and chat with you before I go off to have surgery. So here I am. I have quite a few things to show you, so why don't we go ahead and get started. This is fun things here. But first I want to thank everyone for stopping by to watch some of the previous videos. And if you're new here, this is your first time, thank you so much for taking your time out as well to come and see me and see what I'm all about. I hope that you give me a second chance if you're kind of like on the fence with this video. You know, sometimes it takes a couple of videos for us to get to know each other. And I hope that you give me that chance. So thank you so much. And thank you everyone else that's coming back. I appreciate you spending time with me too, because I know that there's lots of videos that you could be watching. So in September, I was finishing up, I think I was spinning the wheel, I think. And September was so long ago. I think I was spinning the wheel to see what whips I was going to work on, and then I was doing about 500 stitches and then switching. There was one week, I'm going to start with this. There was one week where I really didn't want to do anything, and I don't know why. And so I decided that I was just going to look at all of my digital patterns that I have accumulated and see if there's any small ones that I could knock out and get out of the way and get those patterns off of my phone, because that's where I store them, on my phone. When I'm done with them, I put them in my Google Drive just in case I want to ever go back to them for whatever reason. So I did that. I did that. I got rid of a couple that I had already finished that I forgot to move over. I moved over some knitting patterns and things, and then I found a couple that I'm like, you know what, I bet I can knock that out in no time. So I started with this one. I don't have a piece of paper, but I'll just use this, my bag. This one, it's called Gobble On, and it was a freebie from Hands On Design. And I think I had all of the called for, that's weird, there was a weird noise behind me. I hope everything is well. I think I had all the called for color except for the green color, so I just chose one that matched the other colors in the pattern. And I think this is on 14 count Aida of some kind. I just found a scrap in my stash. So it's actually a piece that was left over from when I cut the piece off for my husband's cross stitch pattern that he never started, by the way. I figured he wouldn't, but I was gonna give it a try. So that was a cute little one. And as you can see, there is more fabric here than down here. I thought the G was an uppercase. I didn't look at the pattern too closely, so an uppercase, I would have been fine. It'll be fine for my purposes anyways, because I want to make it into a pillow, so I'll have just enough fabric down here to make it into a pillow. This took me, I think, 3 hours maybe, I think, to stitch. Then I thought, okay, I bet there's another one. So I stitched this one, also from Hands On Design, by the way, and it's called White Pumpkin. And I think on this one, she just said, grab a brown, grab a green, grab a white. I'm not sure. This is Apricot by Zweigart. I think it's 28 count linen. And I know that the White Pumpkin is a little light on this, but I think it's okay. So I just grabbed the colors out of my stash and did this one up. This one did take me a little bit longer just because that pumpkin is pretty solid, but it really didn't take me that long. I think I got both of these done in a day. I had a productive day. So that's 2 finishes for the month of September. I had marked down that I did 4 finishes, but I don't remember what they are. So maybe when we go through these bags, these project bags, we'll find others. I'm not sure. So I didn't work on this. I have Mario Map pulled out, but I don't remember working on this. So that's odd. I'm going to set that aside because I don't think I worked on that. Okay, I did work on Winter Tranquility. And this is by a freebie by Twin Creek Primitives. And let's see, I continued working on the house. So I got a lot of the house done, the lower part of the house. I ran out, I think I only have one strand of white left. Where did I work? I started working on the tree over here and then the house, and that was it. So I filled in the windows and the door and then the rest of the red, I think. But 500 stitches. So I am getting there. I can't remember how far I am on this. I forgot to look before I was finished. Okay, this one is called Stars and Stripes something. Seasons and Chalk, Stars and Stripes. This one is by Hands On Design. The original artwork is by Priscilla Blaine, who is behind Stitching with the Housewives, one of the people. 500 stitches here. Let's see. This is not oriented right, is it? Here we go. This way. This way. Okay, so I had all of this done, I think. I worked a little bit on the leaves because the leaves weren't quite done. I put the white in there. It was just green before. And then I stitched this, and this star was half finished. And that was 500 stitches. Oh, I think I did these. I don't think these leaves were there before. So, because there's another, the flag starts over here, and I thought, well, if I get those leaves in, then I can use that as a point of reference for the flag, and I can go that way. But I did all of this flower, and then, like I said, the white centers of the leaves, and then the one leaf wasn't quite done. There was a couple missing stitches in the green, so I got that done. 500 stitches. Moved on to something else. And these are in no particular order, because I just throw them in my bag, and then they don't end up in any particular order. Okay, this one is... Oh, this is that, I call it the Christmas Tree Farm series by Stitching with the Housewives. There's 4 of them. Okay, let's see what I got here. Bringing Home the Tree and Farm Fresh Balsam. I had those 2 done. And then I had this one started, Cut Your Own Fraser Fur. And if I remember correctly, this one is done. Because I think I was working on it last time, and I told you I was just going to go ahead and complete it, maybe. I can't remember, guys. I just throw all the projects in the bag, and I don't take notes, so I'm not sure. But anyways, my goal was to finish it. So in the pattern, she spells Fraser like the character's name Fraser on Cheers or the TV show Fraser. And that's not necessarily correct when you're talking about the evergreen tree. So I did fix it. It wasn't that big of a deal to fix, but I did fix it. But this is a completed project. So this would be one of my tallies. So that's 3 projects finished for the month. I have one more to do in this series, and it has a barn with some trees on it, and that actually got called on my WhipGo. So I'm going to work on that this month and see about getting this series completed and off my phone, right? Okay. This is my 4th finish. I figured we were going to find them when the problem is it is for a gift. I don't think that they watch my videos. Okay, I'm just going to show it to you, and if it becomes not a surprise because they watch my video, then so be it. Because I already showed you the sweater, and it's for the same family. So, the sweater, the little sweater that I made, the Harvest cardigan by Tin Can Knits, is for one child in this family, and this is for another child in the family. And Shepherd's Why This Jubilee, it's from the Christmas song. Don't ask me which Christmas song. I probably could figure it out if I sang the whole thing. But this will be framed and given to the child for Christmas. This, if I didn't say this the last time I showed this to you when it was in progress, this is an original design. I designed this myself, and the plan is it will go out for sale sometime in the future. I don't know when. I don't know when, because I have to, there's some things that I have to do in order for it to go up for sale. But also the family needs to receive it for their Christmas present first. So unfortunately, it won't be for sale until after Christmas sometime. So this is it. I used 28 count White Monaco with DMC 310. And this is, I bought way too much too. So I'm hoping that, I lost the bag. Where'd the bag go? I am hoping that I will find another project, because this is what I have left. It's like almost half a skein. And I bought 3 skeins because I just did not know how far this would go. It's C816. And it's the Etoile. So I know that you probably can't see the sparkle from where you are on the camera, but it does have a little sparkle in it. And it's really cute. And I'm hoping to find like a muted green frame for it to go in. I hope so. Oh, I wonder if I finished 5 things, because I have owl on an egg here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be number 5, and I just didn't mark it down. So, I'm in a new Michigan stitch group. I left the original one and stopped the Travel the USA challenge, and I went to another one, and they wanted to do challenges, so I created some challenges. And one of them was like the smallest, put so many strands in, like, no, it's 816, I think, or something around that, stitches in your smallest project or closest to the finish, or I don't know. It's October now, I don't remember, but I knew that I had like 800 stitches in here, so I finished it up. It is a little bit different because in the egg where it says boo-hoo, there are supposed to be like random black stitches, and I thought that it would make it a little bit too busy and take away from the words. So I left those stitches out and just stitched it solid. And that's it. I think I used the called for colors, or as close to the called for colors as I could. The eyes and the beak actually were called for 2 different oranges, and I didn't have 2 different oranges. So I just used the same color, and I think it worked out just fine. I'm not gonna stress about it. Okay. So the next thing, one of the challenges for the group was to stitch on a September piece, a September project. And some people said, well, what's a September project? And I said, anything that people would look at it and say, oh, that's September. So it could have schoolhouse, apples, a ruler, toward fall, because, you know, in Michigan, Labor Day for us marks like the unofficial end of summer and the start of fall. So I said, what does it mean to you? So I chose the September block from A Prairie Year from the Prairie Schooler. This is book number 13, by the way, so it's really old. It's the original book. And so I was stitching on September. This was a brand new start. I only needed to do 2 strands to get the challenge done, and I only have a little bit to go. There's a little bit of the fence. I know it's really light, but a little bit of the fence over here. Finish the border. There's a bird and the bell. And that's it. That's it. So I probably could work on this for under an hour and have it done. But I did start that, and I got that far. The next thing I'm going to show you is it's a digital pattern, and you know that I can't add photos. I don't know why my phone gives me so much trouble, but if I add photos to the video, it absolutely will not, it just won't do its thing. So anyway, digital pattern, I've just begun. I've come up here, there's some leaves and then a big flower, and then this is a dinosaur, and it's so cute. It says, dinosaurs didn't read, look what happened to them. And of course, since I work inside of school, then I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it was on sale. I don't know how it came up in my Etsy, like my little newsfeed or my suggestions or whatever for Etsy, but it came up and it was $1.55. Ooh, I had a needle sticking out there. I could have hurt myself. $1.55. Now, I do recognize that the designer is undervaluing their work. I do recognize that. However, I did not ask them to price it at $1.55, and it came up in my news feed, so I went ahead and bought it. And it's adorable, and I will link it below. I don't know, not link it below. That's silly. I don't like it when people say that. You don't link it below. I will give you the link to the Etsy shop so that way you can check out her designs and you can purchase one if you would like to, or just see what she has to offer. Okay, the next thing is the most absolutely craziest thing ever. So I have no idea how I even stumbled upon this chart. And I told my husband about it. And then I posted on my Facebook for my friends to weigh in and say, should I do this crazy thing or should I just walk away? And one person said, well, it depends on how much you love him. And I'm like, well, I love him a lot, but I mean, he could do it himself. And she's like, well, that's not the point. Or something to the effect. Oh, no, I said that I could totally do it. She said, well, we're not questioning your abilities. I think we all know that you can do it. She said, but that's not what we're talking about here. So, the pattern. Again, I cannot share it with you, but I will give you the link for it if you want to go check it out so that way you can see it in action. It is the map of Middle Earth from the Lord of the Rings. Yes, it's a lot of brown. Yes, it's a lot of stitches. Yes, it's a lot of fabric. Yes, it's a lot of floss, and I may be crazy. It is 297,900 stitches, I believe, or 700 stitches, but anyways, it's almost 298,000 stitches. This is on 18 count antique white Aida with the called for DMC, of course, because on patterns like this, you do not switch colors. And I'm really crazy. So I do not have all the floss. I pulled out, I like to start in the bottom right corner. So I went to the pattern. The pattern was on sale. You're always going to get me with a sale. It was on sale. And so I bought the pattern and I looked at the bottom right corner that's where I would prefer to start. What flosses are down there, and focused on getting the flosses that I could stitch some without having to buy everything. So I had black because I have that cone of 310. I got that together. I had another color. So I stitched what I could. Then I needed another color. So I went to the cross stitch shop and got the two next colors. So I was able to stitch a little bit more. So I've done 2 stitching sessions on this. I believe I have 307 stitches done. You know, I'm like 0.1% done. So this is the fabric. I don't even know if you can see the whole entire piece of fabric. I did give myself, it looks like 3 inches of border just because I figured that this one was going to be framed. So I believe I did do that. Let me try to fold it back up so that way I can show you what I do have stitched. This piece of fabric is crazy. I know it's not the biggest ever. I know that there's projects bigger out there, but I said, if you've been following me for a while, when I finished Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers in October of 21, I told you this was going to be my biggest project. I'm never going to be doing a project this big again. This project is slightly bigger. However, it's full coverage instead of motifs like Long Dog Samplers. So here we go. And I am using parking on this just because I'm trying to make it as neat as possible. So 307 stitches, and this is where I am so far. And of course, it looks like a bit of nothing. So, I mean, there's that. So the black, there's kind of a artsy-fartsy type of border around the entire thing that is DMC 310. And then the map is obviously then in the middle. So as you can see, there is a little bit of something going on there. And as I get into the diagonals a little bit, I am stitching diagonally. I know you can't tell from this part, but it made sense to do that when I was stitching at the time, because the black just goes straight up from there. So I can easily fill in that black. I don't even know what I was saying. I lost my train of thought, but this is, I am stitching diagonally. I think that's what I was saying. So as I get going on the diagonals, you'll start to see it come together a little bit. If I run into a block of stitch, like a block of stitches of the same color, I'll probably just go ahead and do that and then do the diagonal up or below it or above it, wherever it lands. Just because I think that would be the best thing to do and the fastest thing to do. And when you're talking about almost 300,000 stitches, you just do what's best and what you think is best at the time. My whole entire stitching method on this may change as time goes on. I am using 2 threads to make it full and try to, you know, cover the whole entire piece of fabric. I think that I'm working with 5 colors right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 colors so far in here. And yeah, it's not that big of a space yet. And there's 5 colors total, including the black. So, okay. Okay, I've fallen off the edge into the land of crazy. And it's crazy for me because I have no business stitching this thing. And I figured, okay, if I got this done, if I wanted to get this done by our 25th anniversary, which is in, oh shoot, we're at almost 21 and a half. At the end of the year, it'll be 21 and a half. So then that would be, what, 3.5 years left. And I'm like, I have to do like 200 stitches a day. I can't stitch on this every day. I think it would drive me insane if I tried to stitch on this every day. So it probably will not get done in 3.5 years, but maybe, I don't know. I've got so many other projects that I want to work on too. And then there's the knitting, which I'll show you next. So we're going to go into knitting and we'll leave this craziness behind. Okay. So another thing for my husband, I stumbled across, I think it came in my email because I get lots of newsletters, a pattern called Scoreboard. And it's a way of knitting a scarf based on your favorite NFL team's score. And it's either, there's 2 different ways to do it. And it's a free pattern, so look it up, Scoreboard. It's on Ravelry, so Scoreboard. The first way, option 1, is knit 2 rows in your team's color. You pick a color for your team that will be your team's color the whole entire season. The other color for your team is your opponent's team. So obviously, we're in Michigan. Our team is Detroit Lions. So I picked the blue. Well, my husband picked the blue to be the color for the Lions, and then the gray will be the color for the opponent the entire season, no matter what who the opponent is. So option 1, every time the Lions score, you knit 2 rounds in the blue. Every time the opponent scores, you knit 2 rounds in the gray. And obviously, we know that teams can score back-to-back with unanswered points. So that means that stripes can be thicker or thinner depending on if there's an unanswered point or unanswered score versus back-to-back score. And you don't need to know football to understand that part of it. Now, option 2 is where you kind of little bit need to know about football, or you need to take good notes, really, really good notes, okay? Option 2 is 1 round of color for every point that they score. So touchdown, 7 points, 7 rows. Field goal, 3 points, 3 rows. Safety is 2, which that doesn't happen very often. If they got a touchdown on 2-point conversion, it would actually be 8 rows instead of 7 rows. So that's where you need to know football a little bit, so that way you don't get yourself confused. That makes a longer scarf, and my husband said he wanted the shorter version, so easier version, option 1. I am behind because they did play Thursday night football, and I don't think, I just started week 3. So I am 2 games behind now because they've done 4 games and I've only finished 2. So this is a provisional cast on because at the end of the season, you're going to graft them together. I might do a 3-needle bind off. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, I really like the effects of a 3-needle bind off, but I do love a Kitchener stitch, and I think it would be lovely. So it's going to curl at this one end where the provisional provisional cast on is. So as you can see, we started off, the Lions scored first, and then their opponent, then the Lions, and their opponent. And you see how in game 2, this team, their opponent, scored 3 times in a row. Then Lions scored 2 times in a row. Then the opponent, and then the game was over. So as you can see, the stripes are all different sizes based on the score, who scores win. Now, I will say that because this is striping, I'm not going to show you, but my beginning of round, end of round is not the greatest, and I don't know why. Because I did those American flags socks where I was going back and forth between the red and the white and the red and the white, and it was absolutely fine. This is not the greatest. My husband will notice, but he probably won't care. And the thing is it can be the inside of the scarf, so nobody will see it. I just don't know why it's not the greatest. So I am stitching these on size 2 needles because this is a sock yarn. It calls for DK, but then if you do sock yarn, then it's a little bit smaller. So I figured it would be a little bit shorter than the DK version because he doesn't want a long scarf. And to be honest, he probably won't wear this. It'll probably end up being mine. And I have it in my clear bag that I got when we went to the Thanksgiving Day game about 6 years ago. Okay, so the gray and the black is Cascade Heritage. It's 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. And then this one, they did not have any Heritage in blue at the time. They were all sold out. So I had to pick a different blue. And this is, I don't even know what this is. There's a sticker. Variations, yarn by Friendly Products. That's what the tag says. Superwash fingering. It's 75% merino and 25% nylon, so it's the same content. And this is Zealous Zircon. This is the tag. So it's slightly different, but the same at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same weight, same content, yarn content. Okay, and then I have a couple of purchases besides some of the DMC that I purchased throughout the month since I talked to you last for this big project. I think I got some for the dinosaur project too, but I also bought some yarn because I'm going to be making some baby items like newborn, if I can get the size down enough, some newborn items for a friend's photography studio. She specializes in newborn photos. If you want more information about that, then you can let me know because she is fantastic with newborn photos. But she came down. She's in Bay City, Michigan. She came down to take a quick photo shoot of my family, and we're kind of bartering. I'm making her these, and she's doing that. Because we're friends, we can do that stuff, right? We can decide what we want to do. So this is Paint Box Yarns. It's a DK, and come to find out, this particular yarn, the DK, is exclusive to Lovecrafts, which is in the UK. The shipping was very reasonable, and it came in like a week. So I was very shocked. But I got white, and I got navy, and I got this sagey green color. I don't think that it has color. Does it have color names? I don't think so. I don't see a color name on here. Oh, color 126. So sagey green, and then a blush pink. And they all kind of coordinate together. And she told me what colors to choose, and so I got these on purpose just because they were from her color palette, and then they will coordinate together. So if I make a navy cardigan and a blush pink romper, they will go together. But then if I make whatever color I make the romper in, I will make a bonnet, because then it will further color coordinate. So my goal is over time to try to get her as many items out of these 4 balls of yarn as I can. If they are not small enough, I will still give her the items that I did create, even if they're too big. I will have to then go to, this is DK, so I think fingering is the next down from DK, because if you hold 2 strands of fingering together, you get DK. So I will have to find a fingering and make them and hope that they're small enough. Or maybe I would hold a strand of fingering with a strand of mohair, and then it would maybe be in between. I don't know. But that's it. If you're not aware, it is like over 80 degrees here in Michigan today, and it is 5:49. So I've been up here for a while in this room upstairs with no air conditioning. So I'm really, really hot. And I think I've told you everything that I have to tell you so far, at least with the crafting. As a reminder, I am having surgery in 4 days. It's a routine surgery. I am looking forward to not necessarily having the surgery, but the end result of said surgery. It will better my quality of life. And I wish I had done this years ago. I wish I had have used my voice as a patient and as a woman. And if you're out there and you're hearing this and you want to talk more about that in detail, please send me an email. My email is in the description box. But to everyone, whether you want to talk to me about this or not, find your voice and speak up for yourself. You are your own advocate, and if you don't say something, it won't change. So there's that. So I am looking forward to having the surgery done, so that way my quality of life is better, and my family is too, because they've missed out. I've missed out. So anyways, I'm going to get teary because it is a big deal, guys. It is a big deal when your quality of life sucks and the medical staff doesn't care very much. Okay. So anyways, I will be gone for a while. Because I have to film up here and the lighting is best in this room. It's kind of dark today just because it's so late in the day. I hope that you were able to see everything. But anyways, I don't really have a better place to film, and I am not going to venture up the stairs for a while until I get clearance from the doctor to do so, and then still probably stay away from them for a while. So I may not be back for a whole month. But just remember that I am okay and I'm fine. I'm just recovering, and I will be back to see you as soon as I can, okay? Until then, I hope that maybe you saw something here to inspire you to pick up a languishing whip, or maybe to even try something new, because I sure am, because this big project, I've done full coverage before, but this is so new to me, doing this big of a full coverage. I hope that you do some crafting, and if you want to chat with me about anything, you can email me or connect with me on Instagram. My Instagram is a little bit different than my channel name, but I don't feel like changing my Instagram handle at this point in time. So come and hang out with me in the meantime while I heal up, okay? Until I see you next. Bye.